guys, it's Jessie. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video, and today we have, technically this was meant to be my last video of 2023, but it is my first video of 2024, and that is going to be me taking on the massive challenge of trying to complete every book that has been on TBR in 2023, trying to read them all, and trying to basically just, complete every single monthly TBR of this year, read every single book that's been on a TBR in 2023. So we have a lot here. So with a couple of caveats. Firstly, I have a big video project that I've been saying I'm going to be doing since June. I've started reading for it, but it won't be out until the end of the month now. So quite a few actually books on here were for that video. So I'm not going to be including those in here because I feel like that would be unfair to myself. I can't read them. So without that, we do have a good number of books here. So firstly, I'm not going to be including January because I wasn't doing my TBR wheel then. I just would kind of put like every book that I might read on there. So that would make it a lot harder. But starting in February, I read everything on this TBR. I read 2 of them in the month that they were pulled and then 3 of them afterwards, but that's fine, that still counts. March, I read all 7 books in the month that I picked them for. April, I read 5 of them in the month that I pulled them for and 1 after the fact. And then in May, we start to get into ones that I have left to read for this challenge. So I read everything bar Daisy Jones and the Six this month. So obviously I really do want to get to this. I am very excited for it, so I will be including that one hopefully in today's challenge. I'll put it there. There you go. Then in June, I had a few left over. I had firstly Medusa by Jessie Burton. I recently read Circe, which I loved, and I'm very much in my Greek mythology era. Plus this is short, so I think hopefully we should get round to this. Then we also had In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. I'm very nervous about this one. I'm not sure if we will get round to it because it is on the longer side. This is a very highly anticipated read for me, but I've heard mixed things, so who knows. I really want to love it. I really want to get around to it. I've promised that I will read it this year, but I'm not 100% sure whether I will get to it in this video, but we will see. I really do want to read it. I have such high hopes. We will see. It's also a gorgeous edition, so that is also an option. Then moving on to July, the only book that wasn't for that video was Empire of Pain by Patrick Radden-Keefe. This is a very long and very dense non-fiction that is over 400 pages long with the tiniest text I've ever seen. I will not be reading this in this video. You will not see me reading a 400-page non-fiction because that would be the whole video. It would take me this long. I believe I started this around the 23rd or so. So yeah, there was no way I was going to be able to read this. I am filming this after the fact, so technically I know everything that I've read and I'm sitting here pretending like maybe I'll read this. That's the magic of YouTube, guys. There's not much else I can say. So yeah, I didn't even attempt to read this, to be honest. I really do want to read it, but this is going to be more of like a read a chapter at a time. This is not a bingeable book, I don't think. Like The Secret History of the Sackler Dynasty, it's about the opioid crisis in America. Like I'm not going to binge this through Christmas. I am very keen to read it this year. Then moving on to August, we have a few. Firstly, there is Q by Christina Doucher. I believe this is like a sci-fi dystopian book. Oh my god, we've got like a really nice colour story going on right there at the moment, all like yellow and green. Then we also have Red Queen, which initially was going to be for that video and then I changed around my TBR. This I have on my Kindle, so I'm not going to be including it for the video. I'm just going to make an effort, I think, to focus on the physical TBR ones. And then finally I have Pod by Lillian Poole, which is from the perspective of a dolphin, I think, and I'm really excited to get around to this one. I think it'll be very cute. Then moving on to September, I had In the Lives of Puppets again, but obviously she's already here. And I also had Us Against You by Frederick Backman. I got 44 pages into this and then I just put it down and I never picked it back up again. I really do want to read it because I loved Beartown, so this is definitely very much priority TBR. It's definitely going to be a bit dense, but I'm really excited for it. I do have quite high expectations and I love Frederick Backman's writing. And then I also have Mr. Mercedes by Stephen King. This is on my Kindle, so I mean if we have time I would love to get around to it, but it's not going to be a priority. Then for October I have Everything Bar One, actually, so I did pretty well. I just have Dream On left, which I did start. I can't remember how much I got up to this. I believe it was about 80 or so pages. This is just what I predict to be a fun and easy romance, so we'll see if I can pick this one up. Oh my god, guys, we've done so. Look, it's going green and yellow into blue into purple. That's such a satisfying stat. And then November and December, this is where we get a bit tricky. I don't know what I was doing in regards to TBRs. I just clearly was reading nothing, so I have a lot left over for this month. Firstly, for November, I have Camp Damascus by Chuck Tingle. This is a horror book about a conversion camp, so I'm really excited to dig into this. It's not super long, so hopefully I will enjoy that. Then I also have the Poppy War, which I have the ebook and audiobook for, so I might pick up, but I'm not sure. And then the rest of the ones for November November for that video, which I still haven't done, but that's fine. And then for December, I have Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerry Maniscalco, which is about one of the princes of hell, and it's like a dark fantasy romance, which sounds very, very intriguing. And then finally we have Friend Request by Laura Marshall, which is basically, I believe, a YA thriller. So yeah, we'll see what I think about that one too. Okay, editing this video back, I somehow completely forgot to mention This Is How You Lose a Time War, surprisingly, because I literally read it in this video, but that is one that was on, I believe it was my December or November TBR, and that's definitely in consideration to be read, and one that I, spoiler, do end up reading in this video. So yeah, somehow I completely forgot that even existed as a book, and I read it recently. So these are all our options for this video. I'm not going to be reading all of them. My aim is to get at least 3 done. We will see. So along with my TBR books from specifically generated TBRs, I also have 2 other books that I put on my December TBR because there's no other time that I would read them, and that is 2 Christmassy books. So although these weren't technically generated by my random wheel, they are on like my TBR for the month, if that makes sense. So firstly, we have The Christmas Appeal by Janice Hallett, which is a nice short murder mystery, and then also All I Want for Christmas by Maggie Knox, which is a Christmassy romance. So I'm going to be trying to read these 2 along with as many of these other books as I can. So I'm definitely going to get to these 2 first, just because I want to read them before Christmas, and then we will see. So I know I technically don't have to add these on, but I want to because they're Christmassy romance and I want to read them. So when I first started this video, it was going to be a 24-hour readathon. If I talk about a timer at all, I tried to cut it out, but that'll be why. Sorry if it doesn't make much sense, but yeah, that is what we're going to be trying to finish in this video, all my TBR books. So we will see how we do. I will catch up with you when I'm first starting to read. Good morning. You are balanced incredibly precariously, so we'll see how this goes. You are literally on a book, on a headphones like holder, on a bottle, on a little box, so we'll see. But hello, hi, this is my first vocal update, I guess. I got actually about halfway through The Christmas Appeal. I'm on page 100 now, and I am really enjoying this one. I think I'm actually at the moment liking it more than the first appeal. I believe I gave that a 4 stars, and yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I mean, obviously it's a very short book, we're already halfway through and it's only 100 pages in, so I mean, I'm not sure what I'm going to feel like towards the end in the other half, but we're basically back with the Fairway Players. They're putting on Jack and the Beanstalk as their Christmas panto. Sorry if I haven't been in focus. And obviously plus and minus certain characters considering the events of the last book, but there is another murder, and we've just had that murder now 100 pages in. So similarly to the last book, the murder's like halfway through the book, whereas that was a little bit of a, not a problem for me, but like I did find it a little bit slow in the first book. This one's obviously kind of rectified that problem considering halfway through the book it's only 100 pages in. But yeah, it's still all mainly told through emails, etc., which I still do enjoy, and I definitely think the characters are very clear, very strong, and we've got some of the same ones like I mentioned before. And yeah, overall I'm really enjoying it. Actually, I'm definitely intrigued kind of in the mystery. I feel like at the moment there's a very obvious kind of resolution. I wouldn't be too pleased if that was the resolution, just because I think it is so kind of obvious and definitely what you're set up to believe, so I'm hoping that is not correct. But then again, it's also more of like just a fun murder mystery type thing. It's not something where I'm like gunning for a surprise shock twist or anything like that. I'm feeling a little bit rough today. I've definitely got a bit of a cold, so excuse my voice if it's annoying. I think I'm gonna do a little bit more fun makeup today. I want to do something like green to kind of like make me more excited. I'm gonna use this little fun palette, and yeah, that is pretty much where I'm at now. Yeah, I definitely think after I finish doing my makeup I'll just sit down and finish The Christmas Appeal because it is such a fast read, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. Okay, so little update. I ended up finishing The Christmas Appeal. I did really enjoy The Christmas Appeal. I actually think I preferred this to the original. I'm going to give this a 4.25. I really liked the mystery. I thought it was good. I thought the reveal was good, and like the layout, everything, I really enjoyed it. So yeah, overall very pleased with this, very happy with it, and yeah, overall just had a great time, to be honest. It's nice, short and sweet. I would definitely recommend it if you're looking for this type of thing. And next I think I'm going to pick up All I Want for Christmas by Maggie Knox. Sorry, I feel like I'm so low energy right now. I'm quite excited about this one. I think it'll be just a cute little Christmassy romance. This one is like 310 pages, so not too long, and hopefully I can just sit down and read this in one go. Let's see. Okay, it's currently evening now, as you can probably tell by my change in appearance. My voice has gotten worse. It's fine. With All I Want for Christmas, this one I am quite a lot of the way through. I'd say I have just under a third left.
In this one we are basically following Sadie and Max, who are both contestants on this kind of country reality singing competition. Sadie's like a girl next door, like doesn't come from much, and Max is the son of a country music star that wants to just like go his own way. It's very cringy. They've like broken up and got back together so much. They've never officially been together. They're like fake dating. Neither of them can actually communicate well. They always just run away from their problems. It's that type of book. I don't hate it, but I'm not enjoying it. I'd also hoped it would be a little bit more Christmassy. So yeah, I mean, that's about it really. I think I'm going to finish this off right now. I don't think it would take too long, less than an hour I would hope. And yeah, I'm just going to power through it, and then we'll move on to more books that are actually on my TBR that I need to knock off.
Good morning. I'll keep this update brief because I'm looking and sounding rough, but I finished All I Want for Christmas last night. I'll chat to you about it in a little bit, but I'm going to pick up This How You Lose a Time War, which I'm kind of almost done with anyway, just from like reading in a different video, so I'll probably finish that off now. I don't expect it to take me more than an hour. Just finish it off. Okay, so it is update time. Please ignore the mess of my bed sheets. I don't even know. Hi, welcome to the next day, I guess. Well, I kind of spoke to you this morning. To recap, yesterday I finished All I Want for Christmas, and I decided to give this a 2.5. I just found this so immature. I think the characters just like would not communicate at all. Every time like they had a bit of a misunderstanding, one of them would run away and not talk about it, and it was just like infuriating to read. Like they broke up about 4 times when they weren't even together properly. Like it was just genuinely infuriating to read. Like there's no way these people are staying together. And it had a trope in here. I will put minor spoiler warnings in case you are interested in reading this book, but there was like a kind of sexual assault type situation, and the main male character like witnessed it happen and was like, oh my god, she's like with this other guy, instead of like thinking, oh, maybe like something a bit more serious is happening here. The girl who's like 20 and this like 40-something-year-old music producer who's known for being a creep, and the main male character is just like, oh my god, I can't believe she'd do this. And it's like, well, no, why don't we just like put 2 and 2 together and not blame her? Do you know what I mean? And obviously he did come around in the end, like he was all like, I'm so sorry, I should have known, blah blah blah. But like this happened in another book I didn't like as well. I won't spoil it because that is kind of like a big plot point there, but like I just don't like that. I don't want my main male characters to like act like that, do you know what I mean? And yeah, overall it just felt a little bit stupid. Like I do quite like the cover though. I think it's quite pretty, so I might not unhaul it this year, but yeah, a 2.5 for me. Then this morning I finished off This Is How You Lose a Time War. I think I'd got up to page like 120 or something, and there's only about 200 pages in here, so this did not take too long. It took me about an hour though thinking about it, which is a little bit longer than like I'd normally take to read that amount of pages. It's very beautifully written, but you have to kind of quite concentrate in some of the words. Overall I gave this a 3.5. Objectively, I think this is a beautiful book. Some of the lines in here are really just stunning. They really give you pause, and I did really enjoy the overall kind of story, vibes, premise and stuff, but I just think I didn't have that like personal connection to it that I was kind of looking for, and that I think a lot of people do have, and hence would be giving it a higher rating. So yeah, 3.5 for me, but overall I did enjoy it. Now what I want to pick up next, I'm kind of toying between these 4. These are all obviously on the TBR, as I mentioned, for this year. I do want to get to Dream On, especially because I am partway through it too. I started it in a video a while ago. I can't remember how far I got in, but yeah, I got like 78 pages in, so I was like enjoying it, and I did get a decent chunk through, so I might pick this one up later. But I did just read a romance, so maybe not right now. I also want to read these 3. Medusa, I think, is also on the docket. It's quite short. This one is what, 170 pages, so not too long. And I recently read Circe, which I loved, so I'm really quite interested in trying some more Greek mythology. We've also got Camp Damascus by Chuck Tingle. This also isn't too long. This is, oh, it's actually over 300 pages. I just thought it looked kind of shorter, but this is like a horror, so hopefully that can be quite gripping. But the one I think I'm going to go for first is actually JC Jones and the Six. So I know a lot of people will be quite excited about this. This one is a little bit longer. This one's got like, it's got a lot of songs at the end, so we'll ignore that. It's got about nearly 400 pages, but it is also all told in kind of like interview format, so hopefully it'll be a reasonably easy read. And this will only be my second, actually third technically, Taylor Jenkins Reid book, and I'm really excited for it. So I think I'm going to try and sit down with this now, and then maybe jump into one of these later on today, because I do want to get around to all of them. That is our update. Hey guys, so it's been a little while since I last updated you for this video. My cold ended up getting worse, so I wasn't really reading much, and then it was over the Christmas period and I was reading a little bit for other videos, but now I'm back and it is Boxing Day, which is the 26th of December, so we don't don't have too long left, plus I do need to still read other books for other videos. But in terms of my TBR, I got up to page 115 in Daisy Jones and the Six, and I am really enjoying it so far. But just yesterday I just wasn't really feeling it. For some reason I didn't really feel like picking it up, so instead I picked up Q by Christina Dalcher, also still on the TBR, and I'm actually a decent chunk of the way through this. I've been listening to a lot of this via audiobook, and it's definitely a very quick listen. I'm on page 204 right now, so just over halfway through, and I am actually really having a good time with it. I think I could potentially finish it today. I've only got like maybe just over an hour and a half or so, 2 hours left in the audiobook. And yeah, basically this is kind of an adult dystopian novel where kind of everything is allocated based on your IQ level, and the government is trying to like take over more and more and more, and it's kind of getting into like eugenics type of vibes. So it's definitely very interesting, and also like, you know, potentially realistic if, you know, certain things continue on certain trajectories, very worryingly. But overall I'm really enjoying it so far. We kind of just had like a bit of a change of pace, vibe, scenery type thing, so I'm excited to see where the story goes from here. I have read another book by her, Vox, a while ago, and it definitely felt very similar, pretty much quite similar to this, just with a different dystopian aspect, I guess, if that makes any sense. But overall I am enjoying it so far, and I'm excited to continue on with it today. So that's probably what I'll be cracking on with, and hopefully the next book that I will finish. Okay, so I ended up finishing Q a little bit earlier today, like I expected, and listened to it all via audiobook. I definitely think it lent itself well to audiobook. I found myself just like digesting it very easily, and overall I really enjoyed it. I ended up giving it a 4-star. I definitely think it's a super solid dystopian, so if you're interested in that vibe, I definitely recommend it very highly. I can't remember Vox very well, but I do think it did follow some similar plot beats, but overall I still find it interesting. I like kind of dystopian type books. I think next I'm going to actually end up jumping back into Dream On by Angie Hockman. I started this one a while ago. I can't quite remember when, but it was a little bit of a while ago that I did start this one. I got up to page 78 in here, so a little chunk of the way through, and hopefully maybe I could finish this off tonight. I mean, it's only 4:30. I've got to do some like chores around the house, but that's about it for today, so I think maybe I could finish this. From what I remember, it was a pretty quick read. We're basically following a girl who is in a coma, dreams of this whole relationship with this man, and then wakes up, he doesn't exist, and then about a year or so later she actually meets him and finds him in person. So yeah, excited to pick this back up because I was reasonably enjoying it last time I read it, and that's what I'm going to do for this evening. Hey, good afternoon. Lots of updates. So I think I last spoke to you yesterday after I finished Q. So since then I've got a really good chunk into Dream On by Angie Hockman. I'm now on page 262, chapter 25, so defo finishing this today. Didn't quite get to finish it off yesterday, but no big deal. I'm super excited to be properly chugging through my TBR. This one's like a solid 3, I think. It's just like a classic romance, and like I could kind of see where it was going from like the first 2 chapters, but that's not really an issue. Like I'm getting through it quickly and I'm enjoying my time. I definitely think these type of romances really serve a purpose for me in just like palette cleanser, quick read type of thing, because as I mentioned before, I've been struggling a bit, and this is the first book that I've sat down and read for long periods of time in maybe 2 weeks or so, maybe a bit less than that, maybe like a week and a half, which is a long time for me, so I do appreciate this book for that. I also went and got my nails done this morning. Oh my god, it's the first time I've done like nail art rather than just plain French tips. Can I please have a moment for my little snowflake nails? Look at this one on my thumb. Like, this is literally nail art. It's not like transferred on. She painted this with a tiny brush. My nail lady absolutely ate this up. Like, please, some commotion for the nails. Stunning. Anyway, whilst I was getting those done and whilst I went into town as well, I was listening to a bunch of my audiobook for Daisy Jones and the Six. This is the first time I picked up the audiobook. I read the first part of it physically and I'm really enjoying it, both by audiobook and physically. Now I'm on page 284 and definitely a big chunk through, so both of these will get done today, which is super duper exciting. I also bought a journal that I'm going to use as a reading journal, so I think I might set that up later, maybe after I finish Dream On, and then I can like listen to the audiobook whilst I do that. And I also had a little book parcel arrive, which is so exciting. I mentioned in my book haul that I'm not going to be doing any other book hauls for a good few months because I'm going on a book buying ban. I am actually now buying a small amount of books before the end of the year, more than I expected to, but anyway, I'm still just going to be including those books in like regular vlogs, like I said, rather than unboxing them in a separate haul. So you might see a few more book unboxings in this video. This one was a pre-order of a paperback that I'm reading as part of the book club I'm in. I've heard mixed things, but I am excited for it. It is God Killer by Hannah Kana. This is such a stunning cover. She's got a little bit of a weird smell, but that's fine, and she's a little bit bent, but that will be righted when she is on my shelf. This is basically about a god killer, I believe, falling in love with a god. Oh my god, the text is quite small. Anyway, she meets a god that she cannot kill, and I believe they fall in love, I think. So yeah, this is the gorgeous cover. I need to read this kind of probably in the first week of January, so I'm really excited for it. It's pretty stiff, so I may have to break this spine. Like, look, there's no flop there at all comparatively to, yeah. Anyway, I'm so excited for this. So that was a fun little unboxing, and yeah, it's only like, it's not a lot of pages. It's less than 300, but like the text is small. So it's also a 12-hour audiobook, which I saw. Madness and crazy stuff. What a crazy world. So yeah, I am super duper excited to get into this eventually, but that is not a thing to be discussed in this video. Yeah, I'm gonna finish off Dream On now and then probably pick up Daisy Jones in a bit. Oh, and I forgot to mention, it is currently the 27th of December, so we have like 4 days left for this challenge. Okay, I just finished Dream On by Angie Hockman. I think I'm going to give it a 2.75, rounded up to a 3 on Goodreads. Overall, it was fine. It was a very, very solid romance. I didn't like, there was a kind of slightly alternate plot point slash reveal towards the end, not regarding the very main character, but regarding 2 other people. And I really didn't like the way that that panned out, so that docked it a little bit for me. We also had my least favourite public declarations of love in here, which docked it a little bit as well. But the male main character, the like love interest, I adore him. I adore him so much. He is just lovely, so wholesome, and I love non-grumpy, just nice men in romance books, so that's why it hasn't been docked too much. So that's why it's like a 2.75, because it was docked like half a star, but then made up another quarter of a star. So that's kind of where we are at. So yeah, pretty solid one. I bought a reading journal today, like I said, and I'm going to be starting to fill out some spreads for 2024. So I think that's going to be my plan for the rest of the evening. It's only about 5:30. I know it looks like midnight outside, but that's what I'll be doing for a little bit, and I'm probably going to finish off the Daisy Jones audiobook whilst I do that. But I'm really enjoying Daisy Jones so far. Having a good time. Okay, I just finished Daisy Jones and the Six. I think I'm going to give it a 4.5. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was absolutely fab. I really think this is going to like maybe take over my personality for a little bit, because I'm about to watch the show. I really want to do that, and I'm listening to the album, and guys, like, there's no way this isn't real. You're telling me these aren't real people? I don't believe you. I don't believe you. So yeah, 4.5. The only reason it wasn't a 5, firstly, I didn't get that like 5-star feeling anyway, and I do feel like maybe the big breakup, like, it makes sense. It was maybe ever so slightly underwhelming, if that makes sense, but overall I did really enjoy it. I felt that all the characters really felt real. I loved the full cast audiobook, and yeah, overall I'm super happy with this. And my blush is looking really weird in this lighting. I promise it's not that weird in real life. So yeah, 4.5. Really, really enjoyed it. I'm also doing a little bit of my reading journal. Here's what we have so far. I'm just doing a little spread, if you will, and then I don't know what I'm going to read later. The only other audiobook I've got for the books on my TBR is In the Lives of Puppets, but that's a pretty big one to start, so maybe I'll read something a little bit smaller later. I'm not sure, but I do want to definitely do some more reading later today. Hey guys, so I have a little update. It's actually a couple of days later. It's now the 29th of December, so I don't think we're going to get everything done on the TBR, but that's fine. That was never fully expected. But I do have an update. I did finish Medusa. I actually only ended up finishing this today. My brother came over, so I was quite busy, and busier than I expected over the last couple of days, so I haven't got all too much reading done, but I actually ended up really enjoying this. I decided to give this a 3.75, rounded up to a 4 on Goodreads. Overall, it was a really great little short retelling. I heard a couple of people saying in the reviews that like they felt like it wasn't really Medusa's story the way it was pitched, but I very much felt like it was a nice kind of slightly more feminist look on the tale. Obviously there were some really, really beautiful lines in here about dealing with SA, things like that, and kind of like femininity and like some of the struggles of like being a woman, things like that. I felt there's some really, really beautiful lines in here that I'd like to maybe go back and underline in the future. The only reason I didn't give it a 4-star is because it did take me a while to get through. Funnily enough, like, it was about 3 days for such a short book. I feel like if I'd maybe sat down and read it in one go, that would have been a little bit better. But yeah, sometimes for me at the moment, books, it's like either hit or miss in terms terms of like my mood with reading rather than the book specifically. It's kind of 50-50 whether I'm going to be able to binge read or not, which is a bit random for me, but overall I did enjoy it. And also in that time since we last spoke, I've gotten a little way into In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. I've been listening to the audiobook of this and I'm up to page 193, which is kind of coming up to halfway through this book. I'm obsessed. I adore this book so much. I really do recommend the audiobook. I feel like that's really elevating my experience. I've got it through my library app, so definitely check that out if that's an option for you guys. I feel like it brings the characters so much more life and really brings them off the page, and certain voices for the robots really bring them off the page very well, and it's definitely making me, I think, enjoy it a lot more. I'm laughing out loud at points and I'm really loving it. So far I think it could be my favourite TJ Klune, which is insane because I loved House of Cerulean Sea a lot. I've heard mixed things about this one, but I am obsessed with it. We are basically following Vic, and he lives with his dad, 2 robots, as well as his dad's also an android, in the forest, and it's just so cute. The robots have so much personality. There is a little cleaning like Roomba robot called, oh, what was his name, Rambo, and then there's like a nurse robot called Nurse Ratchet, and they are absolutely hilarious. The audiobook definitely kind of brings them to life in their voices, but like the cleaning robot is like very neurotic and the nurse robot is a little bit sociopathic, and it's just hilarious. Like their interactions, I find it so cute. I'm absolutely adoring this, but I feel like this is something where unless you really like the characters, you're not going to enjoy it. I'm very much a character person and I absolutely adore all of these characters, and I definitely feel like that's something that could make or break the book. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving this, and I'm so glad because I was really nervous going into it because I'd heard mixed things, and it's such a gorgeous book and I had such high expectations, but at the moment it's meeting and or exceeding them so far, and I'm really loving it. So this is like on the way to being a 5-star, which is super exciting because it's stunning and it's signed, and I'm just so happy. So yeah, this is a 3.75 and this one could potentially be a 5-star, who knows. But yeah, I'll catch up with you tomorrow. I think I'm only going to get one more book read. I think I'm going to be picking Camp Damascus for that, just because it's reasonably quick and it is one that I bought reasonably recently in hopes of reading quite quickly, so I would quite like to get to that one. So yeah, unfortunately we're going to have to admit defeat with all of the non-physical ones, Poppy War and Mr. Mercedes, as well as Us Against You, Kingdom of the Wicked, Pod, Frail Quest. But yeah, it's fine. There will be other chances to read these books. And I also want to show you some books I got, which I completely forgot to do, but I picked these up in the Waterstones half price hardback sale, and because I had a lot of credit on my card from spending a lot of money previously, I had like the points that convert to vouchers. I got these all for free, which was excellent. So I got 4 hardbacks. These are all 2023 releases. The first one I picked up is The Christmas Guest by Peter Swanson. I'm hoping to read this in January when it's still wintry, because I think it's like just such a fun little Christmassy novella, and this was like £4 something with the sale price. I've heard mixed things, but I think I might really enjoy it. I think it gets a bit weird, and yeah, just a little thriller. Then I got Bookshops and Bone Dust. I was debating about this because I did really enjoy Legends and Lattes. I think I gave it like a 4.25 maybe, and the reason it wasn't a 5 is probably the way I read it. I read it quite quickly and I feel like it's not really a bingey book, but this is the sequel and I think I might like it more. And also I just wanted to get the matching edition. Like, it's such a gorgeous like book. The UK hardbacks I think are stunning. They're like A5 hardbacks, like smaller ones, and yeah, I'm really excited for this. I think it's gonna be a lovely little cozy fantasy. I also picked up Atalanta because we all know I'm in my Greek mythology era. So sad, it's got a rip in the back, which is a little bit depressing. I was thinking about exchanging it, but they've got no copies at my local bookstore and I do not care enough to be driving all over the place, especially when I paid like £8 for a hardback. And when it's on my shelf you won't be able to tell, so I might cry about it, but it's fine. Overall, like for £8 I'm very happy to get a hardback. This cover is gorgeous. It's so much prettier, no offense to the people in the US, so much prettier than the US cover. It's got some really gorgeous end papers, as well as this on the sprayed edge. Just gorgeous. I could always display it like that if it really bothered me about the rip, but again, when it's on a shelf you're not going to see it. It's either going to be like that or that, and the spine is stunning. So yeah, I'm super excited to read some more Greek mythology. As you guys know from reading Medusa, in my Greek mythology era, like Certes made me a changed woman. And then finally, firstly, no one told me this book was so big, but I picked up Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. She's like a brick. Like, this is a thick book compared to like a normal sized hardback. She's massive. It's like over 600 pages long, so I am a bit intimidated, but I'm really excited to pick this up. I've never read from Cassandra Clare, so hopefully this is successful. This also has some really gorgeous like mapped end papers, as well as another really gorgeous naked spine. So yeah, that's just a little update. That's where I'm at, and yeah, I'll catch up with you tomorrow, probably when I'm further through In the Lives of Puppets, and maybe crying. I feel like that book's gonna make me cry. Hello, I have finished In the Lives of Puppets. it. Oh my god, guys, I love this so much. I absolutely adored this, and I did not expect to at all. I really had such high expectations. I was so intimidated by it, and I absolutely adored it. Like, I just don't know what to say. Like, I loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. This is annoying because I finished this at the end of the year after I've filmed my favourite books of the year. This would definitely be up there. I feel like maybe swapping out for House in the Cerulean Sea, maybe. Like, I absolutely adored this. For a while I was thinking, maybe do I leave the last page for New Year's Day and then I can mark it as a read in January, and I was like, that's psychotic. Nothing's that deep. So yeah, but I finished it and I loved it, guys. It was so sweet. And yeah, I do feel like it definitely got a little bit slower to kind of like maybe the third quarter, but I still just absolutely loved it. This story definitely very much fairy tale retelling vibes. I love the romance, I love the characters, I just adored it so much. Such a cute little story. I didn't cry, but I did love it. And yeah, this is going on my favourite shelf, facing outwards, because like, look at those sprayed edges, gorgeous. So yeah, this is definitely going on my favourite shelf. 5 stars. Obviously I don't know if I told you that already, but yeah, absolutely adored this one. So sad that I read this after I filmed my favourites video. And then for Camp Damascus, I'm loving this as well. This I am about halfway through now, and it is so tense. It's making me really tense. It's definitely a lot more interesting than I initially thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be like they are at this haunted conversion camp, whereas it's more so her kind of like not knowing what's real. There's kind of a bit of not really playing with timelines, but different things have happened kind of maybe differently than I initially thought that they would have been happening. Does that make any sense? I'm really trying not to give spoilers, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far, and it's definitely getting spooky, and it's less so haunted and more so like, I don't want to say stuff to give it away, but like it's using demons etc in a interesting way, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm not sure if I'm going to finish it tonight, but I'll finish it before the video goes live tomorrow. So I don't know if this is going to count for technically finishing my TBR, but like I'm going to finish it before the end of the video, so that's all that really matters to me. So yeah, 2 solid ones to finish off this video with, I think, so far at least. Okay, so yes, I'm filming the outro at the same time I'm filming the intro. We don't have to talk about it, but I have great news because I ended up finishing Camp Damascus by Chuck Tingle. I did technically finish this on the 1st of January, so I mean I already failed at reading my entire TBR before the end of the year, but also failed with this one, but it doesn't count. I read it before the video is coming out, so that is fine. I really ended up enjoying this. I enjoyed how kind of classically plotted this was. I felt like there was certain beats to hit, and I really liked that we hit those beats. It was kind of like a very typical horror movie almost, and I definitely think this would do great as a movie. This follows Rose, and she's in a very strict kind of Mormon adjacent religious family and community, and she is starting to have some weird demonic experiences, and these kind of lead her to think about things within herself. And the main kind of premise of this book is to do with the haunted conversion camp. So this was super fun to read, very gripping. I really enjoyed the writing style, and yeah, overall I decided to give this a 4.25. I definitely think this was a solid success. I had a great time with it, I loved it. So yeah, that is a positive in my book. So that is the first of the ones that we managed to read in this video. I'll just go through my stack here in terms of which we did read and didn't. Obviously I read the 2 Christmassy books at the start. This feels like so long ago to me now, but I really enjoyed both of these. These were both reasonably solid. This one a lot more than this one. This was just kind of like a generic Christmassy romance. I didn't have all too high expectations, but this one I actually really loved, and I'm really happy that I got round to it. Unfortunately we didn't get round to either Kingdom of the Wicked or Friend Request. If it makes me feel a little bit better, these were both on my December TBR, and so I feel less bad about it, but this one I'm definitely still very much interested in, and this one's kind of like take it or leave it. Those were 2 flops for me. Then I did get round to Dream On by Angie Hockman. Again, just a classic little romance. I definitely think this was better than All I Want for Christmas, but overall like not a favourite romance for me. I didn't end up getting round to either Pod or Us Against You, unfortunately. This one I really did want to get round to, but I just didn't, I guess, find the time for. I was trying to look for easier reads, and this isn't really an easy read. And this one I think just intimidated me a little bit, even though it's so short, just because it's like literary and it was longlisted for the Women's Prize. So yeah, both of these are definitely still on my radar and very high priority on my TBR. I did, however, read the rest of these. Yes, so I read Q by Christina Doucher, and I very much enjoyed this one. A classic dystopia, very fun, like not fun but like very easy to read and entertaining. I also read Medusa, which I actually really enjoyed. I'm definitely in my Greek mythology retelling era. Daisy Jones and the Six I also loved. Very obsessed with the vibes. I think this is like the strongest vibe book that I've definitely had. Like, I want this to be my whole personality. I really enjoyed it, and I am now just starting the TV show as well. And then finally, probably our biggest success from the video actually was In the Lives of Puppets, which I wasn't sure at the start that I was going to pick up, but I loved and really enjoyed and would highly recommend. And look at this edition, she's stunning. So yeah, overall we did pretty good, if I do say so myself. We read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books in this video, which is a lot, and I'm very pleased by that number. We have 4 physical books that I didn't get round to, as well as technically Empire of Pain, but we were never going to consider that, and then the Poppy War, Mr. Mercedes and Red Queen, which were electronic. But I'm glad we focused on the physical TBR, and I think we did a really good job. And overall, very positive. I think the lowest book we had rating wise was All I Want for Christmas, which was like a 2.5, 2.75. So overall not too bad, because we had what was it, like 4.25, 2.5, 2.75, 4, 3, I think, 4, 3.75, 4 point something, and a 5. So overall, I'm very pleased with this. Also looking back through my little spreadsheet, I've now read every book on my TBR in February, March, April, May, June, and October. So not too bad. A lot of these books also duplicated, and also considering my video that I have yet to finish filming for, that also kind of mucks things up a bit. But overall, I think I did pretty well, and yeah, I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. I also want to say just a little bit, I know this isn't actually my last video of the year anymore because I had to push it back, but I want to say thank you guys so much for all your support this year. You guys leave the most loveliest comments on my videos. I really appreciate all of you so much, and I cannot wait to share more videos with you this year, see where we get to, and all the fun videos and books that we read this year. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and for supporting me all year, whether this is your first video or you were here from the start of the year, you joined this year, whatever. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you. If you want to watch one of my other videos, there'll be 2 on screen now to pick from, as well as they've linked up in the cards from earlier. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!